Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Enjoy English with Liam and Nora. We're so happy you're here. Today, I want to ask you a simple question, but please don't answer too quickly. Take a second and really think about it. Ready? Have you ever felt excited about a new goal, only to lose that excitement a few days later? Maybe you wanted to exercise. Maybe you wanted to wake up early. Maybe you promised yourself, this time I'm really going to learn English. Everything felt amazing at the beginning. You made a plan, you watched motivational videos, you imagined a better future. And then, a few days later, you stopped. What happened? Where did all that energy go? Why is it so easy to start, but so difficult to continue? If you've ever asked yourself these questions, you're definitely not alone. Because today, we're going to find the answers together.
Oh, I already feel like this episode is about me because honestly, I've started so many things. A new notebook, a new morning routine, a new fitness challenge, even a reading challenge. And every single time I told myself, this is the beginning of my new life. Then, 3 or 4 days later, I forgot all about it.
That sounds very familiar. I think almost everyone has done that. We all love new beginnings, buying a new notebook, downloading a new app, making a beautiful schedule. It feels exciting. But after the excitement disappears, that's when the real challenge begins.
Exactly, because motivation feels wonderful when it's there, but sometimes it disappears without warning. One day you feel unstoppable, the next day you don't even want to leave your bed.
Yes, and that's completely normal. Here's something very important. Successful people don't stay motivated every minute of every day. They simply know what to do when motivation disappears. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today.
I'm excited already because I think many people believe motivation is something magical. Like some people are born motivated and others are not. But I don't think that's true.
Neither do I. Motivation isn't magic, it's a skill. And like every skill, you can learn it, you can improve it, you can build it, even if today you feel completely unmotivated.
So, today, we're not just going to give you inspiring quotes. We're going to share practical ideas, real habits, simple techniques, and small changes that can make a big difference.
Exactly. Because our goal isn't to help you feel motivated for just one day. Our goal is to help you build motivation that lasts. The kind of motivation that helps you keep going even on difficult days.
And don't worry if English isn't your first language. We're speaking slowly, using simple vocabulary and natural conversations, so you can improve your English while learning something useful for your life.
That's what this podcast is all about. Learning English through meaningful conversations. Not just grammar, not just vocabulary, but real English for real life. So find a comfortable place. Take a deep breath. Maybe you're drinking coffee. Maybe you're walking outside. Maybe you're studying after a long day at work or school. Wherever you are, thank you for spending this time with us.
And before we begin, I have one more question for everyone listening. Imagine it's 1 year from today. You've achieved one important goal. Maybe you speak English confidently. Maybe you're healthier. Maybe you've started your own business. Maybe you finally finished something you've wanted to do for years. How would that make you feel? Happy? Proud? Confident? Peaceful? Take a moment and imagine that future.
Now, here's the interesting part. That future doesn't begin next year. It doesn't begin next month. It doesn't even begin tomorrow. It begins today with one small decision, one simple action, one tiny step. Because every big success starts with a very small beginning.
I love that. Sometimes we think we need huge changes, but maybe we just need one small change today. One page, one conversation, one healthy meal. one English lesson, one walk outside. Small actions can create amazing results.
Exactly. And throughout today's conversation, we'll discover why motivation comes and goes, how successful people stay consistent, why small habits are more powerful than big promises, and how you can finally stop saying, I'll start tomorrow, and start saying, I'm starting today.
That sounds like a much better plan. I'm ready. I hope everyone listening is ready too, because I have a feeling this conversation might change the way we think about motivation forever.
Then let's begin. First, let's answer a very simple question. What does the word motivation really mean? That's actually a great question. We hear the word motivation almost every day. People say you need more motivation, stay motivated, find your motivation. But what does it really mean?
Let me try. I think motivation is that feeling inside you that makes you want to do something. Like when you wake up excited and you can't wait to start your day.
Exactly. That's a wonderful way to explain it. Motivation is the energy that pushes you to take action. It's the voice inside your mind that says, come on, you can do this, let's begin. And when that voice is loud, everything feels easier.
Yes, you feel confident, you make plans, you work hard, and you believe anything is possible. But then something changes. That voice becomes quieter, and suddenly, even the smallest task feels difficult.
Right, and that's where many people become confused. They think maybe I'm lazy, maybe I'm not disciplined, maybe I'll never reach my goals. But here's the truth. Losing motivation doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human.
I like hearing that because sometimes I feel guilty. For example, last month I decided to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. The first 3 days, everything was perfect. I even made breakfast before sunrise. I felt so productive.
That sounds impressive. What happened after day 3?
Well, on day 4, my alarm rang. I looked at it, I smiled, turned it off, and went back to sleep. When I finally woke up, it was almost 10 o'clock.
I think many people listening have done exactly the same thing. Don't worry, you're definitely not the only one.
So, why does this happen? Why do we start with so much excitement and then stop?
There are many reasons, but today let's focus on 3 of the biggest ones. And once we understand them, everything becomes much clearer.
Okay, I'm listening. What's the first reason? Reason number 1, we expect too much too soon.
The first reason is that our goals are often too big. Think about New Year's resolutions. People usually don't say, I'm going to walk for 10 minutes every day. Instead, they say, I'm going to lose 30 kilograms. I'm going to read 50 books. I'm going to become fluent in English in 3 months. Those are huge goals.
And huge goals can feel exciting at first, but after a few days, they also feel overwhelming.
Exactly. Imagine standing at the bottom of a huge mountain. You look all the way to the top. It seems impossible. You haven't even taken one step and already you feel tired.
That's true. Sometimes thinking about the whole journey makes us forget to enjoy the first step. Reason number 2, we want instant results.
Now, here's the second reason. We want results immediately. We live in a very fast world. Food arrives quickly, messages arrive instantly, videos play in seconds. So naturally, our brains begin to expect everything to happen fast.
Yes, it's like going to the gym once, looking in the mirror, and saying, why don't I have muscles yet?
Exactly. Or studying English for 1 week and expecting to sound like a native speaker. Real progress doesn't work that way. Whether you're learning English, playing the guitar, or building a business, growth takes time.
I love this idea because sometimes we think nothing is changing, but maybe change is happening very quietly, like a tree. You don't see it grow every day, but after 1 year, it's much taller.
Beautiful example. Real success is often invisible until one day everyone notices it.
Reason number 3, we depend on feelings.
So, what's the third reason? This one might surprise you. Many people only work when they feel motivated. They say, I'll study when I feel like it. I'll exercise when I have energy. I'll start next Monday.
Oh, I've said all of those things, especially I'll start on Monday. For some reason, Monday always sounds perfect.
Yes, poor Monday. We expect Monday to fix everything. But here's the problem: feelings change every day. Some mornings you feel energetic, other mornings you don't. If you only take action when you feel motivated, you'll spend most of your life waiting.
So, successful people don't wait for motivation.
Exactly. They understand something important. Action often creates motivation, not the other way around. Sometimes you don't feel like starting, but once you begin, your energy slowly returns.
That's interesting. So, motivation doesn't always come first. Sometimes the first step creates the motivation.
Yes, think about cleaning your room. Before you start, it feels like a huge job. But after cleaning for just 5 minutes, suddenly you think, you know what? I can finish this. The hardest part is usually just starting.
I think many of our listeners needed to hear that because maybe they're waiting to feel motivated when actually they just need to begin.
Exactly. And here's something I'd love everyone listening to remember. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the perfect Monday. Sometimes one small action today is much more powerful than one perfect plan tomorrow.
I love that. So now we know why motivation disappears, but here's the big question. If motivation comes and goes, how can we keep moving forward?
That's exactly what we're going to discover next, because there are a few simple daily habits that can help you stay motivated even on the days when you don't feel like doing anything. All right, now we're getting to the exciting part. We've talked about why motivation disappears, but the question is, how do we keep it alive? Well, let's start with the first habit. And in my opinion, this is the most powerful one. Remember your why.
Your why? That sounds simple, but what exactly does it mean?
Your why is the reason behind your goal, not what you're doing, but why you're doing it. Many people know what they want. Very few people know why they want it. And that makes a huge difference.
Can you give us an example? I think examples always make things easier.
Of course, let's imagine someone says, I want to learn English. That's a goal. But then we ask, why? Maybe they answer, because I want a better job. That's good. But we ask again, why do you want a better job? Maybe they say, so I can support my family. Now we're getting closer. Then we ask one more time, why is that important? And they answer, because I want my children to have a better future. Now that's powerful. That's not just learning English anymore. That's love, that's responsibility, that's purpose.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. Sometimes our first answer isn't the real answer. The real reason is much deeper.
Exactly. And when life becomes difficult, it's your why that keeps you moving, not your mood, not your feelings, your purpose.
Can I share my own example?
Please do.
A few years ago, I wanted to start reading books regularly. At first, my reason was simple. I thought reading is a good habit. But honestly, that wasn't enough. After 1 week, I stopped. Then one day, I asked myself, why do I really want to read? And my answer surprised me. I wanted to become a better communicator. I wanted to express my ideas clearly. I wanted to understand people better. Suddenly, reading wasn't just a habit anymore. It became part of the person I wanted to become.
That's a beautiful example because your goal became personal, and personal goals are much stronger.
So, how can our listeners find their own why?
Here's a simple exercise. Take a notebook, write down your biggest goal. Then ask yourself, why do I want this? Write the answer. Then ask, why is that important? write another answer. Keep asking 3, 4, or even 5 times. Eventually, you'll reach a reason that makes your heart say, yes, this really matters.
I like that because when we know our purpose, we stop depending only on motivation.
Exactly. Imagine two students learning English. The first student says, I think English is useful. The second student says, I want to speak English because one day I want to study abroad and make my parents proud. Who do you think will continue studying when lessons become difficult?
Definitely the second student because they have something bigger than just a textbook. They have a dream.
Exactly. Dreams create energy. Purpose creates consistency. That's why successful people always remember why they started.
This reminds me of something. When people climb a mountain, they don't keep looking down. They keep looking at the top because that's where they want to go.
I love that example. And your why is like the mountain peak. Sometimes the road is difficult. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you feel like giving up. But when you look at your destination, you remember why every step matters.
Can we teach everyone a useful English phrase?
Absolutely. Here's today's first phrase. Never forget why you started. Let's say it slowly. Never forget why you started.
Again, never forget why you started. One more time. Never forget why you started. Beautiful.
Here's another one. A strong purpose creates strong motivation. Let's repeat it together. A strong purpose creates strong motivation.
Again, a strong purpose creates strong motivation. Excellent.
Now, I have a question for everyone listening. Don't answer out loud unless you want to. Just think about it. What is one goal you're working towards right now? Maybe it's improving your English. Maybe it's saving money. Maybe it's becoming healthier. Maybe it's starting your own business. Whatever it is, ask yourself, why does this goal matter to me? Not just once, ask it again and again until you discover the real reason. Because once you know your why, the journey becomes much easier.
I already feel more motivated, and we've only talked about one habit. Imagine what's coming next.
Exactly, because knowing your why is only the beginning. Now, let's move to another habit that successful people use every single day. And I promise it's much simpler than you might think. Now, let's move on to our second daily habit. And honestly, this habit changed the way I think about success. It's very simple. Start small.
Really? That's it? I thought you were going to tell me some secret used by millionaires.
Well, successful people do have a secret, and surprisingly, it's often very small. Many people believe success comes from doing something huge, but in reality, success usually comes from doing small things again and again and again.
That sounds easy, but I think many people ignore small actions. They think, if I can't do something big, why do anything at all?
Exactly, and that's one of the biggest mistakes people make. Let me ask you something. Imagine you want to read more books. Which goal sounds easier? I'll read 100 pages today. Or I'll read 5 pages before bed.
Definitely 5 pages. That sounds so easy, I couldn't say no.
Exactly. That's the point. Your goals should feel almost too easy because when something feels easy, you're much more likely to begin. And once you begin, something interesting happens.
You usually keep going, don't you?
Exactly. Maybe you planned to read 5 pages, but after 5 pages, you're enjoying the book, so you read 10, maybe 20. The hardest part wasn't reading, it was starting.
That's true. I've noticed that with exercise too. Sometimes I tell myself, I'm only going to walk for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I don't want to stop. I keep walking, sometimes for 30 minutes.
Exactly. Getting started creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation.
Momentum. That's a useful English word. Can you explain it?
Of course, momentum means moving forward with energy. Think about riding a bicycle. The first few seconds are the hardest. You have to push, you have to balance. But after a while, the bicycle moves smoothly. That's momentum. Life works the same way. The first step is often the hardest.
I love that example. So instead of waiting to feel motivated, we should create momentum.
Exactly, because action creates action. Small success creates bigger success.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Of course.
Last year, I wanted to organize my room, but it looked like a disaster. Books everywhere, clothes everywhere, papers everywhere. I looked around and thought, this will take forever. So I did nothing for almost a week.
I think many people know that feeling. What happened next?
One evening, I made a very small promise. I said, I'm only going to clean my desk. Just my desk. Nothing else. It took about 10 minutes. When I finished, the room already looked a little better. So I thought, maybe I'll organize the bookshelf too. Then I folded some clothes. Then I cleaned the floor. Without realizing it, the whole room was clean.
That's a perfect example. You didn't start with cleaning the whole room. You started with one small area. One tiny success led to another.
So small actions can become big achievements.
Exactly. Imagine trying to climb 100 stairs. If you keep looking at the top, you might feel tired. But if you simply focus on the next step, eventually you'll reach the top. One step, then another, then another. That's how every journey works.
This reminds me of learning English. Some students say, I want to be fluent, but that goal feels so far away. Maybe they should focus on today.
Absolutely. Instead of saying, I'm going to study English for 3 hours, try saying, I'm going to learn 5 new words. Or, I'm going to listen to English for 10 minutes. Or, I'm going to practice speaking for 5 minutes. Those goals feel achievable and not important.
Because every small success makes us feel confident, and confidence helps us continue.
Exactly. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence grows because of action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence becomes stronger.
Let's teach everyone another useful phrase.
Good idea. Today's next phrase is small steps lead to big results. Let's say it together. Small steps lead to big results.
Again, small steps lead to big results. One more time. Small steps lead to big results. Excellent.
And here's another one. Done is better than perfect. Many people wait for the perfect plan, the perfect time, the perfect mood. But perfection often stops progress. Let's repeat it. Done is better than perfect.
Again, done is better than perfect. I really love that sentence because sometimes we spend so much time trying to be perfect that we never actually begin.
Exactly. Remember this. A tiny action today is more valuable than a perfect plan that never happens. So today, don't ask yourself, how can I change my whole life? Instead, ask, what's one small thing I can do right now? Because that one small thing might be the beginning of something extraordinary.
We've talked about remembering our why. We've learned the power of small steps. But there's another habit that helps people stay motivated even when life gets busy. And honestly, it's one of my favorites.
Mine too, because this next habit can save you on the days when motivation completely disappears. All right, let's talk about the third daily habit. And this one might be the most important habit of all, because it changes one simple idea. Instead of asking, how can I stay motivated? You start asking, how can I build a routine?
I think many people use those words, motivation and routine, as if they mean the same thing. But they don't, do they?
Not at all. Motivation is a feeling. A routine is a habit. Feelings change, habits stay. That's the difference.
Can you explain that a little more? Because I think it's really important.
Of course, think about brushing your teeth. Every morning, you brush your teeth. Do you wake up and say, I feel incredibly motivated to brush my teeth today?
Never. I don't even think about it. I just do it.
Exactly. That's because brushing your teeth isn't something you decide every day. It's part of your routine. Your brain already knows what comes next, And that's exactly what we want with our good habits.
So instead of deciding every day whether to study English, we should make it part of our daily routine.
Exactly. Imagine this. Every evening at 7 o'clock, you spend 15 minutes listening to English. Not because you suddenly feel inspired, but because that's simply what you do every evening. After a few weeks, it begins to feel natural, almost automatic.
Automatic. That's another useful word. It means you do something without thinking too much.
Exactly. And the more automatic a habit becomes, the less motivation you need. That's why routines are so powerful. They save your energy, they save your decisions.
You know, I once read something interesting. Successful people don't always have more willpower. Sometimes they simply have better routines.
That's absolutely true. Think about professional athletes. Do they wake up every morning feeling excited to train? Probably not. Some days they're tired, some days they're stressed. Some days they'd rather stay in bed, but they still train. Why? Because training is part of who they are. It's part of their daily routine.
So the goal isn't to become someone who always feels motivated. The goal is to become someone who keeps showing up.
Beautifully said. Keep showing up, even on ordinary days, even on boring days, even on difficult days. Because success isn't built on perfect days, it's built on consistent days.
I think that's something many people forget. They believe one amazing day will change everything. But maybe it's 100 ordinary days that make the real difference.
Exactly. Imagine putting $1 into a jar every single day. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but after weeks, after months, after a year, you'll be surprised by how much you've collected. Good habits work the same way. Small efforts grow into big results.
Let's talk about English learning again. How can someone build an English routine?
Great question. It doesn't have to be complicated. Here's a simple example. Every morning, listen to 5 minutes of English while making breakfast. Every afternoon, learn 5 new words. Every evening, speak English to yourself for 5 minutes. That's it. Simple, realistic, repeatable.
I like that because it doesn't feel stressful. It feels possible. And that's important.
Exactly. The best routine isn't the hardest one. It's the one you can actually keep.
Can we teach everyone another useful phrase?
Absolutely. Today's phrase is consistency beats motivation. Let's say it slowly. Consistency beats motivation.
Again, consistency beats motivation. One more time. Consistency beats motivation. Excellent.
Here's another phrase. Success is built one day at a time. Let's repeat it. Success is built one day at a time.
Again, success is built one day at a time. Beautiful.
Before we move on, I want everyone listening to think about one question. What's one small habit you could repeat every single day without feeling overwhelmed? Maybe it's reading one page. Maybe it's learning 5 English words. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk. Choose something so small that it's almost impossible to skip, because one tiny habit repeated every day can completely change your future.
I really like that idea. Don't build a perfect day, build a repeatable day, because repeatable habits create remarkable results.
Exactly. And now we're going to talk about something that almost everyone struggles with: negative thoughts, self doubt, and what to do when the voice inside your head starts telling you you can't do this. Because staying motivated isn't only about habits, it's also about the way you talk to yourself. Now, let's talk about something that people don't always notice, something that's happening inside your mind every single day: your self talk. the conversation you have with yourself. That's interesting because we spend so much time talking to other people, but we almost never think about how we talk to ourselves. Exactly. And here's something surprising. You probably talk to yourself more than anyone else every day, from the moment you wake up until you go to sleep. The question is, what are you saying? I have to be honest. Sometimes I'm not very kind to myself. If I make a mistake, I immediately think, oh no, I'm so bad at this, or I'll never get better. Thank you for being honest. And I think many people listening feel exactly the same. When something goes wrong, our first reaction is often to criticize ourselves. But here's the problem. Negative self-talk doesn't help us improve. It usually makes us want to quit. That's true. When I keep telling myself I can't do this, I stop trying. Because why continue if I already believe I'm going to fail? Exactly. Your words become your beliefs, and your beliefs become your actions. That's why changing your self-talk can change your life. So what should we say instead? Because mistakes still happen. Of course they do. Mistakes are normal. Instead of saying I'm terrible at English, try saying I'm still learning. Instead of saying I always fail, say I'm improving every day. Do you notice the difference? Yes, the second sentence feels hopeful. It doesn't ignore the problem, but it also doesn't give up. Exactly. Let's imagine two students. Both make the same mistake. The first student says, I'm so stupid. The second student says, good, now I know what to practice. Which student will improve faster? Definitely the second one, because they're learning instead of judging themselves. Exactly. Every mistake contains a lesson. The question is, are you looking for the lesson or only for the failure? You know, this reminds me of children. When children learn to walk, they fall down again and again. But nobody says, maybe walking isn't for you. That's such a great example. Imagine a baby trying to walk. They fall. They stand up, they fall again. And nobody expects them to be perfect. Everyone smiles. Everyone encourages them because falling is part of learning. But somehow, when we become adults, we expect ourselves to be perfect immediately. If we make one mistake, we think, maybe I'm not good enough. Exactly. And that's unfair. You deserve the same patience you would give to a child learning something new or to a friend who needs encouragement. That's a beautiful thought. Sometimes we're kinder to strangers than we are to ourselves. Very true. So today, I want everyone listening to remember something. Speak to yourself like someone you truly care about, because your mind is listening every single day. Let's teach everyone some positive English phrases. These are wonderful for everyday life. Great idea. Phrase number 1. I can improve with practice. Let's repeat it slowly. I can improve with practice. Again, I can improve with practice. One more time. I can improve with practice. Excellent. Here's another one. Mistakes help me grow. Repeat after me. Mistakes help me grow. Again, mistakes help me grow. Wonderful. And here's my favorite. I'm learning, not failing. Say it with confidence. I'm learning, not failing. Again, I'm learning, not failing. One last time. I'm learning, not failing. Beautiful. Now, I have a challenge for everyone listening. The next time you make a mistake, don't ask yourself, why am I so bad at this? Instead, ask yourself, what did this mistake teach me? That one simple question can completely change the way you learn. I really love today's conversation. We're learning that motivation isn't just about excitement. It's also about habits. It's about patience. And it's about believing that we can become better little by little. Exactly. And there's one more thing that can either build your motivation or completely destroy it. It's something almost everyone does, sometimes without even realizing it. Comparing yourself to other people. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. Let's talk about something that quietly steals motivation every single day. Comparison. Comparing yourself to other people. Sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it, but it happens again and again.
Oh, this is a big one, especially these days. You open social media, and within 5 minutes, it feels like everyone has a better life than you. Someone is traveling, someone bought a new house, someone started a successful business, someone speaks perfect English, and suddenly you start thinking, what am I doing wrong?
Exactly. Social media usually shows people's best moments, not their difficult moments, not their failures, not the nights when they wanted to quit. We compare our real life to someone else's highlights, and that's never fair.
That's true. I remember when I first started learning English, I watched people speaking fluently. Their pronunciation sounded amazing, their confidence was incredible, and honestly, I felt discouraged. I thought, I'll never sound like that.
Can I ask you something? How long had those people been learning English?
I don't know, maybe 5 years, maybe 10.
Exactly. And how long had you been learning?
Only about 4 months. When I think about it now, it wasn't a fair comparison.
Not at all. Imagine two people running a marathon. One person is at kilometer 2. The other person is at kilometer 30. Would it make sense to compare them?
Of course not. They're both running, but they're at different stages.
Exactly. Life works the same way. Everyone has a different starting point, different opportunities, different challenges, different experiences. That's why comparison can be so dangerous.
So, who should we compare ourselves to?
Only one person, the person you were yesterday. That's it. Ask yourself, am I a little better than I was yesterday? Not, am I better than everyone else? Just, am I improving, even 1%?
I love that because everyone can improve 1%. It's realistic, it's encouraging, and it feels possible.
Exactly. Imagine you improve just 1% every single day. At first, you won't notice much, but after weeks, after months, after a year, those tiny improvements become something incredible. Success isn't built in one giant moment. It's built through hundreds of small improvements.
That reminds me of something my grandfather used to say. He always told me, don't worry about walking fast. Just make sure you keep walking. When I was younger, I didn't understand. Now I think I do.
That's beautiful because stopping is the real danger. Moving slowly is still moving. Learning slowly is still learning. Growing slowly is still growing.
Let's imagine two English learners. The first learner studies for 30 minutes every day. The second learner studies for 5 hours, but only once a month. Who do you think will improve more?
The first learner, without question, because consistency always beats intensity. Small daily practice is much more powerful than occasional hard work.
That's encouraging because not everyone has hours to study, but almost everyone can find 10 or 15 minutes.
Exactly. Never underestimate small progress. Small progress is still progress, and progress is something you should celebrate.
Can we practice some more useful English phrases?
Absolutely. Here's the first one. Compare yourself only to yesterday's you. Let's say it together. Compare yourself only to yesterday's you.
Again, compare yourself only to yesterday's you. One more time. Compare yourself only to yesterday's you. Excellent.
Here's another one. Progress is more important than perfection. Repeat after me. Progress is more important than perfection.
Again, progress is more important than perfection. Wonderful.
And my favorite phrase from today's episode, keep moving forward. 3 simple words, but they're incredibly powerful. Let's repeat them. Keep moving forward.
Again, keep moving forward. One last time. Keep moving forward. Beautiful.
Before we continue, I want everyone listening to remember one thing. There will always be someone faster, someone smarter, someone more experienced, but there will also always be someone who needs the knowledge you already have. So don't let comparisons stop your journey. Focus on becoming a little better every single day.
I think that's one of the most important lessons we've shared today, because when we stop comparing, we finally have enough energy to focus on our own growth.
Exactly. And now let's bring everything together. We're going to review the most powerful ideas from today's conversation, practice some useful English expressions, and finish with a simple challenge that you can start today. Wow, what an incredible conversation. We've talked about motivation, habits, mindset, consistency, and I hope you're starting to realize something. Motivation isn't something you find, it's something you build, little by little, day by day.
I completely agree. At the beginning of today's episode, I thought motivation was mostly a feeling. Now I see it differently. It's about making small choices every single day, even when you don't feel excited.
Exactly. So before we finish, let's quickly review the most important lessons from today's conversation. And while we review, try saying these phrases out loud with us. Remember, speaking English is the fastest way to build confidence. Ready?
Let's do it. Review phrase 1.
Our first lesson. Remember your why. Your why is stronger than your excuses. Repeat after me. Never forget why you started.
Again, never forget why you started. Excellent. Review phrase 2.
Lesson number 2. Big dreams begin with small actions. Repeat after me. Small steps lead to big results.
Again, small steps lead to big results. One more time. Small steps lead to big results.
Review phrase 3. Lesson number 3. Don't depend only on motivation. Build routines. Repeat after me. Consistency beats motivation.
Again, consistency beats motivation. Wonderful. Review phrase 4.
Lesson number 4. Speak kindly to yourself. Repeat after me. I'm learning, not failing.
Again, I'm learning, not failing. Beautiful. Review phrase 5.
And finally, remember this. Don't compare yourself to everyone else. Repeat after me. Keep moving forward.
Again, keep moving forward. One last time. Keep moving forward. Excellent.
Now, I have a small challenge for everyone listening. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. Choose one goal, just one. Then ask yourself, why is this important to me? Write your answer down. After that, choose one tiny action. Make it so small that you can't say no. Maybe learn 5 English words, read 1 page, take a 10-minute walk, drink 1 extra glass of water, or spend 5 minutes speaking English. That's all. One tiny action.
And here's the important part. Tomorrow, do it again. Not because you're waiting to feel motivated, but because you're becoming the kind of person who keeps promises to yourself. I think that's a wonderful way to build confidence.
Absolutely. And remember, there will be difficult days. Days when you're tired, days when you're busy, days when you don't feel like doing anything. That's normal. Everyone has those days. The difference is, successful people don't quit because of one bad day. They simply begin again.
Exactly. A bad day doesn't mean a bad life. A mistake doesn't mean you're a failure. And one slow day doesn't erase all the progress you've already made. Be patient, be kind to yourself, and keep going.
Before we finish, let's end with one final affirmation. Say it slowly. Believe every word. Ready? Every day, I become a better version of myself.
Again, every day I become a better version of myself. One last time. Every day I become a better version of myself. Beautiful.
Now it's your turn. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what is one small habit you're going to start today? Maybe it's practicing English. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's exercising. Whatever it is, share it with our community. You might inspire someone else to take their first step.
And if today's conversation helped you, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel reach more English learners around the world. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Every week, we create slow English conversations to help you improve your listening, your vocabulary, your pronunciation, and your confidence.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Learning English isn't a race, it's a journey, and we're truly grateful to be part of your journey.
Take care of yourself. Keep learning, keep smiling, and most importantly, keep moving forward one small step at a time.
This is Liam.
And this is Nora.
Both, thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, never forget, your next small step could change your life.